right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome in. Warthog Thunderbolt, what's up, man? Thank you for smashing the like button on the way in. Guys, please do hit the like button if you do get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, or if you're just enjoying the live stream, please hit the like button. Darksby19, what's up, man? Jokum Boulder, yeah, we got those biceps going. We got the pump coming. Hopefully we get a pump coming, guys. Bitcoin is literally hanging on by a thread. Dylan Wadia, what's up, man? I think that, man, we're going into the weekend, guys. And so the weekend, we often see slow, grindy price action. And actually, that's kind of good. I want to see some slow, grindy range form in this area, like that accumulation range that I was telling you guys about. But I want to see one more low being made. I want to actually hit that naked monthly point of control at 57.9. Now, in the meantime, you can see we are in this ascending channel that is perfectly being respected on the bottom. And also, the top of the channel I pulled from that high, but you can see we also were rejecting at the top of the channel. So we're in a slow, grindy, slightly ascending channel to the upside, and our volume is getting lower and lower and lower for the most part. We did have a spike this morning, but that is a sign of a corrective move, in my opinion. And we really have to watch out for this breaking down and sweeping all three of these lows, these local lows here. But I am going to be looking at another scalp trade. I'll let you guys know about that in just a second. Illuministic, happy Friday to you. Patrick Schooner, what's up, man? Wayne Nerosi, welcome in. 57.9 incoming. Yeah, I think it could. Ryan Hinson, good afternoon to you as well. Lil Rich, much love to you, man. Dr. X, hot greetings from Antwerp, Belgium. Awesome, man. Well, greetings to you, and thank you for tuning in from Belgium, Dr. X. And Crypto Wander 5813, what's up, man? Guys, so yeah, we're pretty much chopping around within this ascending channel. You can see I also pulled a volume profile of this channel because I wouldn't be surprised if over the weekend we chop within this channel to the upside. I guess, you know, it was like last weekend as we were coming in, we were starting to form this flatter channel in here as well. And we were looking at that flat, and then we ended up breaking above it, kind of flipping it and continuing up through the weekend just to see continuing to grind over the weekend just until Monday. We got that pump on Monday, and then that led to the big dump the rest of the week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar here where we're chopping kind of in this channel over the weekend. And then come Monday, we get that dump to $59,000, 59.7, or even down to 56, unfortunately. And then we get the big pump come next week. But that would also allow some really nice bull divs to form on the chart. What I don't like here on the 30-minute is, look at, we have some nice trigger waves here, but because we're not making lower lows, we're kind of like, you know, wasting this opportunity in some ways on the lower time frames. But on the higher time frames, if we go out to the daily time frame, we now do have more of a possibility of confirming some bull divs on the daily time frame. Another thing we want to see is we wanted to see that money flow starting to bottom out and curve to the upside. So if we do range over the weekend, kind of near the bottom of our pitchfork, even maybe, you know, in this channel here a little bit, and then end up breaking down, that could give us a third drive of bull divs on NAMI, because NAMI is a bit quicker. It would be on lower time frames, like the 4 hour. But it would give us enough time for this momentum wave to kind of bottom out and start to curve to the upside and confirm those bull divs if we do chop over the weekend. And oftentimes at the bottom of these macro pitchforks, you do see consolidation at the bottom. You know, we rejected from the lower band after front running the bottom of it, rejected from the lower band. It was also our POC. We finally come down and hit the pitchfork. And generally you will see something like this that occurs where you're either going to end up breaking this thing down pretty aggressively, or you're going to hold it as support, maybe one more low to grab some liquidity, and then you make that big push to the upside. So that's what I'm hoping for. I told you guys yesterday, I am looking for these swing long opportunities, but we have to be patient. We have to wait for this range to form, and I want to see some more confirmations confirming on our oscillators down here. But you can see even NAMI is now confirming the bull divs, but the money flow does not look the best right now. And if we go on to the 8-hour chart, I like looking at the money flow on the 8-hour chart. It does seem to do a pretty good job. We have some drives of bull div on the 8-hour on NAMI, and we also have money flow bull divs now that the 8 hours kind of turned up. So that is looking good. But Market Cipher is just barely hanging on in the green here. Yes, we did get the big green dot, but I would suspect that this is going to continue to chop a bit. Now, I'm looking for a couple local scalp trades over the weekend because I know that a lot of you guys are interested in actually catching trades. And first off, liquidity levels, right? Always sweeping liquidity levels would be nice. But inside our volume profile, if we look at just the pump that we saw today, now, first off, this here is looking like a 3-wave corrective move. So that means that there is a real possibility of seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to sweep that low and potentially sweep all 3 of the lows together if we impulse down from here. But if we see something like this, where we're going to continue to grind sideways, a bounce, a rejection, and then a rotation down to value area low, we can see if we pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from our low to our most current low to our most current high, you can see that golden pocket is coming in right on the value area low. So depending on how we come down there, if we do reject value area high and we kind of rotate down there, I would be interested in potentially taking a very small time frame, like a micro scalp long position on this thing, where I would be looking for the long after we bounce from the golden pocket. Once we start to reclaim it, after we bounce from value area low and the 0.65, once we start to reclaim the 0.618, I would set my stop right below that low. And then I would just be targeting the value area high again, or we could even look at targeting, you would pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from the highs to the lows of wherever that's at. And yeah, it would pretty much be at value area high. So we could just be chopping in between value area and high and value area low inside of this range. And you can see here, that's still a nice 6-to-1 risk to reward ratio, almost a 7-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that micro move. And we know that your we know that your position size is based off of that stop loss. So when you have a 0.21% stop loss, that means you could pretty much 4x long your entire account. And if you get stopped out, you're only going to lose 1%, but you're also risking 1% to make, 6.5% or so. And that is the way we can play these low time frame consolidations until something bigger happens. Now, in the meantime, I am expecting a new low. I am expecting this channel to break down, this channel that we've been in here to break down. But honestly, if it happens, it would have to happen today before market close for me to feel comfortable with that, or it would have to happen at the start of market open next week. Because if it happens over the weekend, that's actually going to be a pretty bearish thing overall. We know that weekend highs and weekend lows often get taken out. So if we come down and we, just break straight down, sweep all that liquidity, maybe on a Saturday or even a Sunday, yeah, we might see a decent move up from that, but then that probably means that we're going to end up coming back down sometime next week to sweep that weekend low. And that is actually a real possibility because we have a zone of support, and it's really between $57,900 and $56,000. The more I look at this, let me zoom out to the 4-hour chart. The more I look at this, $56,000 is looking like it does want to be tapped just based off of our 2-year volume profile. Let me go on to the daily chart. And if we look at this volume profile, that's 2 years long. So it takes 2024's range. It's fair value. It's balance zone in 2024. We take 2025's range, and then we now combined it with, the 2026 price action. Combine all 3 of them together, that value area low at the bottom often does get tapped. And you can see that it gets tapped if you break down through the POC and you bearishly backtest that POC. When you bearishly backtest, you're expecting to rotate down to value area low, which is a major volume support. It's considered the undervalued price for Bitcoin over the past 2 years. And it's a zone, right? This is a zone. We can expect the zone to kind of hold as support or break down. And if we do see a big breakdown, we do have that weekly at, we could see a fake out of the breakdown of this box into that weekly level, which is coming in around 54.8-ish, 54.89, really 54.9, let's say. But guys, if we lose the weekly level, like I am going to start getting way more bearish because we have multiple high time frame pitchforks. This is our bearish pitchfork guiding us through this bear market so far. You can see how nicely it has been respected, guys. We were looking for the short there. We were also looking for the short on Monday at the back test of that pitchfork, which was also a local golden pocket. And if we're looking for this last impulse to the downside, we want to see this kind of make a 5-wave move down. I have to admit that the way that this impulse looks so far, there's a lot of choppy overlap in the move down from Monday that I don't like. But I'm still looking for another low. I'm still keeping this as a possibility on the chart where we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And then we get that final low of this impulse to the downside. And then we could at least get a bigger rotation to the upside, even if we're going to end up breaking down aggressively later. If we look at the Binance chart, this multi-cycle pitchfork that is super, super important in my estimation of things, in my bias of things. This pitchfork has been so well respected throughout the entire bull market, and we see major rejections around these pitchfork levels, major supports and major rejections around these pitchfork levels. We are at the bottom of the pitchfork. Now, if we wick down below again, make another new low, I would like it to be on Monday because we want this weekly candle, and this is I know this is only the 3-day chart, but on the weekly time frame, we want this weekly candle to at least close at support of the pitchfork, because if we close below it, guys, I've seen this so many times in pitchfork and channel trading. If we close below it, there is a probability of coming back up in a very immediate low time frame backtest, backtesting it bearishly, and if you reject, you expect a pretty harsh move to the downside. Now, if we can close the weekly candle at support of it, another thing we need to watch for is what is actually happening right now on the 4-hour chart, which is a bit concerning to me. You can see that we're consolidating at the bottom of this pitchfork, and we're wicking down below it every time. We're not even closing a 4-hour candle close below it. But each time you pierce this pitchfork level, each time you pierce it, come above, pierce it, come above, it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And eventually it could break down aggressively if our support just below us doesn't hold. So we have a nice setup because we do have the major support zone just below us. So I would want to see that break down the SFP and then kind of a move to the upside. And we would want that first move after the SFP. We would want to see that impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would like to break market structure on the 4-hour. I would at least, which means that we would at least be expecting to take out the high from yesterday at 60,660. But what would be even nicer is if we broke market structure from the highs on Wednesday at 61,868. And that would give us a lot more confidence that, hey, we could be seeing a real reversal to the upside, at least maybe to come up and grab our liquidity around $67,300. Our Pink, much love to you, man. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding. I might not make it. Terrible signal here. No worries, our Pink. If you can't make it, enjoy yourself, man. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you as always. Chad P, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind comment, and it's good to see you as always. NTH PK, welcome in. From 125K till 58K, your counting still didn't complete. You're still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ABC didn't complete. Why, man? You didn't go to school? No, of course it's not complete. That's why I'm saying we need another new low. But first of all, there's many ways to count Elliott waves, right? So if we're looking on the higher time frames, you could count a 5-wave move in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Extended 5th wave. You got that 3-wave corrective move after. Now, if this is the 3rd wave, it is very, very hard when you zoom in on this chart, on this dump from 98K to 60K, it is very hard to count a 5-wave move in here. You could say this is a wave 1. This is your running flat for a wave 2. Is this the 3? And that's a little 4 there. And then you have another extended 5th wave. Yes, it would be valid. But I remember when this dump was happening, I was looking for a pull up and then one more low to be made, and it didn't end up happening. So could we count that as a 3rd wave there? Yes. Now, if your 4th wave, if this is going to be a 4th wave retracement, then you need to pull your Fibonacci retracement from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3. And if you hit the golden pocket, it invalidates. It invalidates the the impulse. Now that's a 38% dump to the downside. So you need to take your Fibonacci and you need to put it based off log scale because it's more than a 30% dump. And you can see we did hit the golden pocket. We did reject from the golden pocket. But a wave 4 retracement, if it retraces to your wave 3 golden pocket, it invalidates the impulse. So now what are you going to say? This, you can't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Maybe if you're using the non-log chart, okay, you can make that case. But to me, because we hit that, and also look at how large your wave 4 range is. I mean, your wave 4 range generally is about 2 to 3 times as long as your wave 2 range. So that is not too unusual there. But if, okay, let's say that we're using the non-log golden pocket and it didn't hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in the 5th and final wave to the downside. You're right. The count is not complete. Well, technically it could be because we made a new low yesterday and Wednesday, we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're in the 5th wave. But even within this 5th wave from the rejection at 67.2, you can see very clearly here, we don't have a clear 5-wave impulse. We have a 1, 2, 3. Maybe we're developing the 4 over the weekend, and then we would need one more low. So there is a possibility. I'm keeping both scenarios in mind, right? We don't have to know what the price of Bitcoin is going to do. We just have to know the levels we're willing to trade and at what confirmations we need to take those trades. The other scenario that I was looking at is it's a bearish WXY correction, right? So in that WXY correction, we're looking at this as a 3-wave move here in a W, a 3-wave move here in an X, and then unfortunately, because this is straight down, that would be an A, B, C in your Y wave. Now, I understand that makes your Y wave a lot longer than your W and your X waves, but it is still valid as far as this retraced up to the golden pocket, right? This retraced up to major resistance, rejected from major resistance. And then the other count that we were looking at, which was Machi HK's count, is we're still looking at an impulse to the downside, a much larger ABC correction being an A, B, and then a C that could bring you down to $39,000 or even $32,000. But if we're looking at an ABC here, then you need to count this first A wave as an impulse. So you would have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, 5-wave impulse, 3-wave corrective move, and a B wave. And then your C wave, you would need an impulse here. Now, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and technically we've taken out the lows of 3. So you have satisfied the target, but as far as this move still goes, there's not a clear 5-wave count in there. So yes, I am expecting another new low to be made. All of this to say that there's multiple Elliott wave counts that you could be looking at here, but the fact is that we are getting towards the end of a major move to the downside, We are at macro support levels, multi-cycle pitchforks, bearish bear market pitchforks, and we would expect some sort of reaction soon. If we start to lose this kind of support zone in here, you could see a drop all the way down into the low 40s or even high 30s. Of course, I would expect some moves in the meantime. I would expect some sort of liquidity grabs at 49K. We would also pull that volume profile in here of this range, and we would be expecting, maybe bounces from the range. You can see we're also at the value area low right now of your 2024 range. So the market in 2024 was considering the fair value of Bitcoin to be between $60,000 or $59,500 and about $70,000, with the fair value being around $63,000. We have now lost the balance zone of the 2025 price action, and now the market is repricing in the price of Bitcoin back down to 2024 levels. Well, we're at the undervalued portion of 2024 levels. So if the market is overall bullish on Bitcoin as an asset over the next years, they will be willing to buy at a discounted price of 2024's price action. That is why we really need to hold this zone here. This zone is a crucial zone to hold. And I'm talking about, you could come a little bit below it, guys. These pitchforks do see wicks above and below. You can also see kind of failed auction ranges that form above and below. This was a distribution range that formed above. So you could see that. Accumulation, right? This would be accumulation. And then this accumulation would be a more smaller time frame accumulation. Maybe that breaks to the upside, comes up sweeps it, 83K, or maybe even comes up to like 93K. And then we get a big move back down to the bottom of the pitchfork, to your bearish pitchfork band. And then we would be seeing a larger accumulation inside of this as well, where this would be a tap 1. All of this accumulation range would be a tap 2. And then we would have our tap 3 in here. So that's what I'm kind of looking at in the bullish case scenario. That's what you want to see the bulls be doing in the next few months. They really need to defend. But if we start to lose the high to mid 50s, we could see a catastrophic collapse on Bitcoin. And trust me, guys, when these pitchforks break down, when these multi-cycle big pitchforks break down, they break aggressively. You can see when we actually lost, when we rejected at the all-time high from our midline, huge breakdown. Unfortunately, with this range, we started to form a range right above the pitchfork band. Because of that, we fell straight through it with no reaction at all. But once we fell straight through it aggressively, you often will expect a bearish backtest, right? So we get that larger range, a bearish backtest, very, very clear sell-off at the bearish backtest of the pitchfork. We're coming down to kind of the macro support level for the bulls. If the bulls want to maintain this overall trend that has been going on since the entire bull market, really since November of 2022, we need this level to hold. This general zone. I'm not going to say an exact level, general zone to hold. So, I don't know your comment there. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but yeah, it's many different ways to count Elliott waves, many different views and scenarios. So I'm trying to keep track of all of them. I'm trying to do my best to let you guys know what my bias is on the chart. But I do see we are developing, wow, look at on Binance. That money flow still looks pretty bad there on Binance. But we are developing some nice bullish signals that are starting to develop. I would say not confirmed yet completely, or at least NAMI is confirmed because we got the green dot. But the money flow is not confirmed on the daily time frame. The money flow bull divs. Okay. Mark Dutch, welcome in, my friend. America's a third world country. Yeah, America is a love-hate relationship, right? Could also be a wave 2, and we need a C wave up that is coming. Let's see. Are you talking about on lower time frames, Dragon? 28. Let me know what you're talking about that. Jesus Save 77. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I hope you had a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. And no worries, NTHPK. Honestly, man, I like it. I like the challenge, and I like if I'm doing something wrong, I do want to be called out on it. But I have studied Elliott waves extensively now for a couple years. Am I the best on the internet? Hell no. If you want to see the best, I would recommend Coons Trading. And I've learned most of my stuff from Coons. He's an excellent Elliott wave trader. He's an excellent analyst and really just an excellent person. So, but I would say I'm not an amateur either. Also, I use Elliott waves more as confluence of getting a directional bias, but I like to use volume profiles. I think volume profiles, because we know that volume and liquidity are some of the most important things in the market. And to me, volume profiles are so important. Now, look at this last range from 60K. We all agree that 60K was a major macro low until we just lost it now. But you can see within this range from 60K, we broke down below the volume profile. We come up, we back test the POC, we get the rejection. So when the market came up to fair value of the past 4 months, 5 months, it decided that no, we want to sell off at fair value. We think this is still bearish. So that was a big sign right there that the market sold off at fair value. Then we lose the value area low again. And on Monday, we come up for a bearish backtest of the value area low and you reject. That is also telling you the market is expecting new lows, right? Because if you lose it, reject on a bearish backtest, you would expect new local lows. Well, we made new local lows this week. I would just say, guys, this is such crucial support in here, and we really need this to hold. I would like to personally make another low. I would like to hit the naked monthly point of control. Let's look on Binance to see if that naked monthly is in the same area. So yeah, you can see that naked monthly, 57,939 on Binance. Just below us though, not hit. We also have some daily levels below us. You can see that daily level that's right above that naked monthly is right in here. Daily level is at 58,213. I think we hit that one yesterday, actually. Yeah, that's the one that we hit yesterday. We bounced from that yesterday. You can see we grabbed that yesterday. So that is no longer naked. I would actually take that off the chart and I would go down to the daily that's just below. We'll make sure we get that spot on there. Get this. This daily level right here, guys, with this daily order block here, it has not been hit. The order block's been partially filled, but that daily level right there at 57,324 inside that order block has not been hit. So, you know, it would be nice to come down and actually touch that support. And then once again, if we pull our volume profile, looking at the past 2 years from the highs of 2024, your all-time high of 2024 over to present day, you can see that value area low coming in right about $60,000. It has to hold, guys. If we look here below it, I mean, yes, you have liquidity. These liquidity levels will be important liquidity levels for sure. Without a doubt, we will see some sort of reaction. At least I would say we would see some sort of reaction at the 49K liquidity level. 52.5, yeah, we could see liquidity grab there as well. But what we might see if we end up breaking this crucial support just below us down, what we might see is something like this, where we get a liquidity grab, see a 3-wave corrective move to back test that pitchfork, and then that's when you get your waterfall to the downside. So we have to be very, very careful at how we play this. Sudeep, much love to you. Welcome in. And Mark Sudeep, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding for me. What's your point of views on 17th of July Clarity Act? Man, I do think the Clarity Act, obviously it's caused some volatility in the markets, but I think it's just going to keep getting pushed, guys. It's just going to keep getting pushed, or it's going to, you know, the vote is not going to go the way. Congress is slow, and I would expect that nothing really is going to get done. Now, if it does get done, it could be a really bullish time for the market, right? And that could be our bullish catalyst that maybe continues. Like if we chop in here for, you know, a month or so at the bottom of this pitchfork, and then come July 17th, Clarity Act gets passed, we could see some, we could see that nice rally from that. And it would make sense as far as the technical analysis goes as well. My GHK, much love to you, man. You did get mentioned because I respect that count that you have. You know, I respect that count that you have. And as a trader, I have to keep all scenarios in mind. And that is more of a bearish scenario, but it's a valid count. You have a valid count there, and I have to keep that in mind. If we are going to see that larger ABC to the downside, you know, once again, we pull that volume profile or trend-based Fibonacci extinction. And you can see, if I can get it, grab that, put it on the high. Our ABC target zone, 39K to 33K, right? We also know that 33K is our macro logarithmic golden pocket. One of the most important levels, in my opinion, the most important support resistance flip in Bitcoin's history. You know, all of this support, resistance, coming right into there. So, you know, this is where I personally load up like crazy. Now, if we get down that far, though, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of pain. I think the only way we get down that far is if Michael Saylor's kind of Ponzi thing he's got going collapses. Yeah, I'm a simple man. Dump it. Solana, we will check Solana. Theo B-side, what's up, man? Theo B-side, good to see you, man, and much love to you as well. Let's just look at Solana real quickly here. Solana is coming down. So here's the thing for Solana. This pitchfork here, we've lost it, you know, and we also came right. Well, we came down to our support box. This support box was a daily level at 61, and we have a naked monthly point of control at 58. Now, we are in our larger zone where we would expect to find some support between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. So this, if a larger bullish scenario is going to play out, we want to see this zone between 75 and 56 hold. But you can see we did have the last move up was a 3-wave corrective move, and it pretty much was back testing that 1-to-1 bearishly and rejecting. Also, it was kind of a back test of your pitchfork, even though you front ran that pitchfork just a little bit. What we want to see is this was our prior range, right? And we were in this range for about 3.5 months, 3.5 months. After taking out the liquidity from the range highs and rejecting from the bearish backtest of the pitchfork band, we lost the pitchfork aggressively, which is a bad sign in my opinion. So another thing we can watch for is some sort of rejection of that pitchfork. It's also kind of the value area low. If you reject the pitchfork value area low, I would expect to come down and make new lows. Now we are seeing a very bullish reaction. Yesterday, we were talking about this on the stream yesterday. We were coming down to that golden pocket support. You know, if you look at this last move up, hold on, let me grab this here. If you look at this last move up, 3-wave corrective move, and then we get a 3-wave corrective move down to golden pocket. So now are we about to see another 3-wave corrective move to backtest and seeing a larger WXY correction, and then seeing the rejection to come down to make new lows? That's something I'll be paying attention to. Right now, Solana's looking bullish. And look at, we had the bull divs on the chart as we were coming down, bull divs on the chart into that golden pocket, and we're seeing a very, very nice reaction from that golden pocket. If we pull now, even, well, yeah, you have overlap between these lows and the highs, so there, that's good right there. Now, if the bearish scenario is going to take place, I mean, the bullish scenario, excuse me, if the bullish scenario is going to take place, could you say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, you could. Let's see if our third wave would be the smallest then. If, because a hard rule in Elliott waves is your third wave cannot be the shortest wave. So if we go here, yeah, you didn't tap the 1-to-1. So that means this wave is larger than this wave here, if you're counting it to that high. And then you would look at this being larger. Let me just check this here. That is a $7.25 move to the upside. And then we would have to look at this being a $9.13. So that makes this your, that would make that an invalid impulse. There's no way to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because your third wave is the shortest wave. So now we have another greater probability that this is a 3-wave corrective move up. Okay? Because you started with a 3-wave corrective move up, any impulse, whether it's a double 1, 2, triple 1, 2, single impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even if it's a contracting diagonal, some sort of motive wave that's occurring where you have kind of that contracting diagonal, your first leg up always has to be a lower count impulse, right? Some sort of impulse in the first leg. So the reason why I'm bearish for new lows on Solana is because this first move up here is a 3-wave corrective move. So we can't say, hey guys, this is going to be a larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. You cannot say that because this move right here is a high probability corrective move to the upside. What that means for the bulls is they just have to be more patient. You're going to have to wait for this larger corrective structure and then a new low, and then you want to see the impulse up. But that's great to know that. Now we have a bias of, okay, we can be looking for shorts at some key levels of resistance. You can see the value area low is coming in at $77. That's also the back test of your pitchfork. Actually, and then if we look at pulling, oops, didn't mean to do that. If we look at, hold on, let me just back that up. Pulling a Fibonacci from the highs of that internal range to the lows here. You can see your golden pocket is also going to be coming in right at 77, right? Now, we did hit the golden pocket already. The 618 just barely hit the 618 there. But what I would say, and let me just get rid of this to clean this up. What I would say is now I would be looking for that SFP of the highs from last Monday, June 15th, into your value area low and into your pitchfork. So that is actually a trade. Actually, I will mark that out right now because if we do get that SFP into the pitchfork and the value area low, that would be something that I would be interested in taking a short on. Okay, at 77. Yeah, and it would also give us some nice bull divs if we come down and tap that naked monthly at 58. We could have some nice bull divs forming on the chart on the daily time frame. Unfortunately, though, Solana has lost that pitchfork. Let me just check my other Solana chart. Yeah, same pitchfork there. We can actually get rid of this little channel now. Yeah, and we've also lost, this is a Fibonacci channel that was highly respected throughout most of the bull market. We have lost that Fibonacci channel. And see, this is what I mean with the pitchfork, guys. So this is like a cycle channel, right? A Fibonacci channel. So pulled from the bear market lows to that higher low to that first high. That pink channel is your main channel with the white being the midline. You can see how the midline acted as very good support. We came down to the bottom. This was really the area for the bulls to step in down here because it was the value area low of your range of the past 2 years from March of 2024 all the way to, you know, December of 2025. So a little bit less than 2 years, you know, 18 months or so. But you can see once you lose it, that's when you get that big waterfall. And that could be about what's about to happen to Bitcoin. If we lose this support level of the bottom of the pitchfork, you could see that big waterfall. Maybe the waterfall takes out 49K, then we see a bounce up and then a rejection. Another thing to look at is USDT dominance, because USDT dominance is getting very, very close to taking out your bear market highs. And it's inversely correlated to the Bitcoin chart, right? So you can see this was your prior bear market. We have two semi-equal highs up there. We had some perfect accumulation right down here. The most like pristine looking accumulation. Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, expansion. Now we want to see us take out those highs. After taking out those highs, maybe if Bitcoin's at 57 or 59, 57.9 to 56K, hopefully we get that big move down and we start to retrace, you know, start to get back. And it would be really nice to get back inside of this volume profile, the value area high at 6.39%. If we can get back inside that volume profile, we're going to see a nice big bull market for Bitcoin. And even on the way down there, we would expect to see Bitcoin pump pretty aggressively and the altcoins. But this move to the upside, first off, we were looking at the past few months. This was a descending channel that I was expecting to break as soon as it hit the 382 Fibonacci. If you go back and watch my videos, that's exactly where I was looking for a bounce and a bounce on USDT and a rejection on Bitcoin from $82,500. This zone right here, $82,500. I was looking for that ahead of time. Now we need to see one more local low being made on Bitcoin and one more local high being made on USDT dominance. And hopefully that gives us our reversals on both assets. If not, like Machi HK, the Bear Lord says, dump it. Okay. Yes. Guys, really quickly here, I do want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on your trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts if you do deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses. So just by trading USDT contracts, whether that's Bitcoin or the altcoins, on the USDT futures markets, you can earn up to $8,100 extra dollars or USDT or Bitcoin paid out. And that's a great bonus to add to your portfolio. If you're trading on the exchange anyways, you know, that's a great incentive to trade on the exchange to get extra money that way. They're also offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. So if you deposit $100, they'll give you a 50% bonus. Most exchanges will only give you a $20 bonus. So that's over double what most exchanges will on a $100 deposit. They're giving 20% deposit bonuses up to $1,000 deposit, and they're giving 10% deposit bonuses up to a $20,000 deposit, which is double what most exchanges will give you. Most exchanges, if you deposit 10K, they'll give you a K, but they won't give you, if you deposit 20K, they won't give you $2,000. So that's available. You do need to KYC level 1 in order to qualify for the bonuses, but they are there for you. Also, I have joined BYDFI to create a Telegram community. It's a private community, but it is free. All you need to do in order to join that Telegram community is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description and deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of the bigger bonuses. Once you've done that, you click the Telegram link in the description of the video, and in that Telegram verify channel, you're going to type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID. It's probably going to be a string of letters and numbers for you guys, but /verify in your user ID, and that'll put you into the Telegram. The money you deposit into BYDFI is, you're not paying it to BYDFI, you're not paying it to me. It's your money to trade on the exchange in hopes that you will try out the exchange, like the exchange, and stick with the exchange. I have a couple other partners. I have Blowfin. It's another non-KYC exchange I'm partnered with. Blowfin is offering VIP 1 for 30 days. If you deposit $5, you can get a $10 voucher, and then they have some pretty good initial deposit bonuses all the way up to, if you deposit $10,000, you can get $1,000. Using any of these affiliate links, guys, is a way to support the channel. It's a way to say thank you. You can also just hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos. I have 2 KYC partners. They're MEXC and Bybit. Links are in the description for you. And then lastly, I have NAMI Trading, which is this momentum and money flow indicator you see at the bottom of your screen here. And I use this for confirmations to enter and exit trades. So like as we're coming down to key support, as we're coming down to a key support level, I'm not just going to blindly long it because we're hitting that support level. I want to see confirmations that tell me the trade is more likely to play out. So that's when I come in on NAMI and I look for those bullish divergences. I look for money flow bullish divergences. And if I see those confirmations, to me, it makes the trade more likely to play out. That is when I will execute a trade. So since I've been using NAMI for confirmation-based trading, my profits have gone up drastically, and it really pays for itself. Even if you have a smaller account portfolio, it generally will pay for itself pretty quickly. I've partnered with NAMI to get you guys 50% off. So if you are interested, click the affiliate link in the description. And when you're checking out on the website, just type in Divine50 in the discount code promotion box, and you can get 50% off. All right, let's see here. He hates Indian men. Okay, your volume is a bit low. Is volume low, guys? Let me know in the chat. Here, I'll get my mic a little bit closer to me. Let me know. What is that indicator you use to see the naked monthly POC? Chemo, it is called the periodic volume profile. So if you come into indicators and you just type in PVP, periodic volume profile. Now, when you click on that periodic volume profile, go into your settings, and in the row size, you want to make this 200 or greater, like 200 to 240. A lot of, if you leave it at, I think the standard default is like 24. It doesn't break up the rows enough for you, because when you're pulling a volume profile, you're looking at those high volume nodes, right? You're looking at where the volume is pulled. So let me just give you an example. If I pull this fixed range volume profile, you see that there's 200 in here of these little divots of volume, these little nodes of volume, but it gives you a better idea of where your high volume nodes and your low volume gaps are. Low volume gap in here, low volume gap in here, a high volume node, a high volume node. So when you're turning on that periodic volume profile in the settings, I use row size 200, value area 70, and then you check it by, you just want to keep this on 1 for the period, but to check the naked monthly, you just click the month. To check a naked weekly, you click week, hit OK, and then you just turn it on, and now it's going to show you your naked weekly points of control. Or it's going to show you your weekly points of control. Now, one thing you need to do in order to make that is you have to click extend POC to the right. And what that will do, if it's still naked, it will extend to the right, right? But if it's been tapped already, it won't extend to the right. So the naked volume levels are always better than the ones that have been hit and you kind of used up, I say. And the very technical term of used up. So actually, I just want to see, guys, this was interesting. I just saw this. Look at last week's naked weekly point of control just above the highs. And I believe there was also a naked or a weekly level there as well. So at 65,725, we have a naked weekly point of control on Coinbase. And I believe we have a weekly level there as well. Yeah, 67, 65.7. I think I already had that naked weekly on. Yeah, I already had that. So let me get rid of that one. But interesting to me, right above Monday's highs, we have a weekly level and a naked weekly point of control. Okay, what pain? There is no pain for me, only profit, right? Yeah, that's what's great about being a trader, Machi HK, is we can make money both ways, right? And it's a skill that we've developed. It's a skill that the rich have always used to stay rich, is you can hedge, right? You have some spot portfolio, you can hedge short, or if you're just a derivatives trader in general, you can play the market both ways. And that is how the rich always stay rich. Your possible lows are getting awfully close to my 26.5. Yeah, 26. Man, if we go to 26.5, hold on. Let me just go to the weekly level here. And if we pull that golden pocket, right, from the bear market lows to the all-time high, if we look at our 786 as well, where is that? That's coming in at 24.2. That would be, and look at, you would be grabbing some very, very crucial liquidity down here into that 786. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible, you know. I also would like to pull a volume profile looking at this entire upper range here. Man, your value area or your point of control is at 20K. Value area lows at 15. And look at where we're at right now, guys. Once again, another confirmation that we're at crucial support. If we look at the past 5 years of price action, going back to February of 2021, look at where our value area high that we're tapping right now is. We're back testing the value area high of a 5-year long volume profile. This is such crucial support right now that if it's lost, we could see a waterfall down. We could see a pretty aggressive move to the downside. It's also your anchored VWAP from the bear market lows, which an anchored VWAP, it's based off volume, not price action, but it's based off the volume inside of the price action. So it's almost like, think of a VWAP or an anchored VWAP as a trend-based volume support, volume-based trend support, excuse me. So it's based off volume. When you come down and you hit a volume-based support, big move to the upside, right? So we are, for the first time really since the beginning of this bull market, coming down to that trend-based volume support. It needs to hold. It's also your volume support as far as your 5-year long range value area high. Man, if it doesn't hold and we get reaccepted back inside this volume profile, I mean, like, look at the gap in here down to really about, what is that, 47K. And then if you lose that, you come down to 43K. You lose that, you're coming all the way down to really 30K, you know, 30K, 33K. So very interesting there. My possible low range is all the way from 18.5 to 39. Yeah, please hit the like button. Please subscribe, guys. And NTH PK, thank you so much for that. Rui, what's up, man? Good to see you as always. The patented red balloons. Love to see you in here, man. Yep. And I think Kimio, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you Kimio. The PVP might be only for paid TradingView. I don't know if it's on the free version of TradingView. All right. I am bullish in USDT. So Machi, let me ask you this. You think we're going to break out of those double top highs and continue pushing up then, probably, right? You think we're going to break out of these double top highs and continue this uptrend in USDT dominance? What I see here is, well, first of all, this was going up so aggressively just because it back in the day, you know, the 2015 through like 2020, stable coins were really just getting accepted and brought into the market as kind of a way to store your money. So that's why USDT dominance was shooting up so quickly, because the company was growing so rapidly and stuff like that. But I would say from about 2020, right? Maybe even 2019, 2018, that is where we can start to look at this. You know, it is starting to come up. If we break above that, yeah, you could see it continue pushing up here. For me, we'll cross that road if it happens, right? We will cross that road if it happens. But the big thing is, if we look at this upper range, all of this sideways flat price action in here, you can see that we are above the value area high, you know, above the value area high of that range. So if we pull that same volume profile, the value area high is way down here at 6.39%. So until if we SFP these highs, you could just SFP them just to come down to 6.39 and then continue. But I would expect some sort of reaction, because it is a double top. And yes, this isn't liquidity per se, like a normal asset where you see a liquidity grab to stop out traders and then a reversal, but it acts psychologically the same way. And that's why we see liquidity grabs on Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance all the time. And it still trades like an asset that's trading, right? We can still see the accumulation down here. We can still see the expansion. So even though it's not really a tradable asset, it still acts like that because it's based off market psychology, trading psychology. Okay, yeah, I think USDT will make a new all-time high as well. I mean, we're pretty much there, right? Oh, yes, Near Protocol. Okay, we are coming down, and I did post in the Telegram about Near Protocol. We are coming down to that support box. Let me zoom in here to the 4-hour chart. So after rejecting from our purple box of resistance up here, I'm going to get rid of that. And let me get rid of that. You can see we're coming down to our support level between 176 and like 162. Now, our pitchfork midline is going to be pretty much right at 173.5. And we also have a naked daily point of control in there. I don't know if this is going to go back that far, but I marked it out on my Coinbase chart. We have a naked daily point of control at 174 ish. And then let me go to our weeklies. Okay, it's not a naked weekly, but we do this zone in general. Now, after an impulse, and if you guys remember on the Coinbase chart, we're looking at a bigger impulse that could have finished. And I understand our fifth wave is very short compared to, you know, your fourth wave correction is very short compared to your second wave correction. This was clearly impulsive here. Then we had that running flat. You can see move down, move up, running flat because you didn't take out the lows of A. And then this is purely, clearly a third wave to the upside, a big aggressive move to the upside. After seeing that, we pulled back. We pulled back to backtest the previous range value area low, which is this range in for about a year. You can see it was the value area low. So we broke above it. We backtested it. And then when you hold it, you rotate to value area high of that range. That's the value area high of that range at 308, which also happened to be a weekly level. And that's why we rejected there, is because we rejected the value area high of your previous major range. Now, after that, we saw a bearish break in market structure, right? By breaking those wave 4 lows, by breaking this low at 221, you've broken market structure bearishly. Because you have broken market structure bearishly, now you have a higher probability of seeing a corrective move up to golden pocket before seeing another lower low. You can see a lower high, right? You have your lower low, lower high. Now we would expect a lower low. So coming down, we're coming down and we're already making a lower low. Now, if we're looking at this being a zigzag correction to correct this entire impulse from 85 cents, then you look at your macro golden pocket as kind of that primary target for an ABC. You can see there that we have a couple levels. We have the 1-to-1. It's right at a naked daily point of control at 150. We also have the 1.236, which is the other common target, right at your golden pocket. And after an impulse finishes, you can pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from the low of the impulse to the high of the impulse, And your golden pocket is where you really want to look for. It's not perfect, but your golden pocket there is where you want to look for that bounce, that possible bounce to continue the more macro bullish trend. We also broke market structure bullishly by taking out these highs here. So now you could look for a higher low overall on the macro chart. This is more macro time frame analysis. But on the lower time frame, we are coming into some support here, right? It is just the golden pocket from the lows here at the beginning of 3 to the end of 5. And golden pockets there, the better golden pocket, actually, I'm sorry, from the beginning of 3 to the end of 5, we're looking at that golden pocket. And once again, there's the bearish pitchfork there, right? So let me just hide this box for a second so you guys can get a better look at this. And we actually hit that golden pocket. You can see we're hitting the 618, but yeah, we're coming down to that pitchfork midline, and you would want to see that kind of hold. We're also right around your prior lows. And if we look at this move down, I mean, I have to say right now, this looks sort of impulsive, right? Wave 1, wave 2, 3, this is going to continue probably, and then we're going to see a 4 and then a 5, and you are probably going to continue down to 138. And then that would also be the start of a 1, 2, 3, and then you'd probably get a pull up to golden pocket and then another big move down. We don't have that information yet. And honestly, with this bounce here, I said I'm looking for a long in this zone, but I'm looking for the long really just to back test the value area low of this range, this upper range. And if we reject there, then I would look to pull profit out, you know, and move my stop loss to break even. So like, I would like to see this continue kind of grinding down, hit that 174.5 or even 171. I would enter the long trade. You could even enter the long trade as soon as you reclaim 176. Your stop would go below wherever that local low was, and the first target would be the back test of the value area low. That's still a 4.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade, right? And if you start to reject there, you pull out maybe 50, 75%, and then you move your stop loss to break even, you might get stopped out on the rest. But you want to leave some open, because if it does break back inside this volume profile, back test that volume profile, you have a very high chance of continuing up. And you could look at this as a larger kind of flat or just a larger correction that's ending, and then you could be pushing up to even break your highs at 256 or more, you know. Now, as far as our oscillators look, let me just get rid of all that. As far as our oscillators look, we do have some slight bull divs on the chart here on the 4-hour time frame as we're coming down, and you can see on NAMI we have multiple drives of bull div with the money flow coming up. So right away I see confirmation to enter along from this general area. I'm starting to see that confirmation to enter. If we look at the 2-hour chart, on the 2-hour chart, bull divs confirmed, multiple drives of bull div confirmed, money flow bull div confirmed. Your money flow is finally bottoming out and starting to curve to the upside on Market Cipher B. So more confirmation to look for a long from this area, even if it's just a long up to 196, right? 195.6. If we look at the 1-hour chart, multiple drives of bull div, and I guess on NAMI you were seeing bull div, but then it invalidated, but you saw a hidden bull div here. So looking pretty nice. Let's go to the 8-hour chart and look at the money flow. On the 8-hour chart, money flow is starting to curve to the upside on Market Cipher, and you can see confirmed bull divs on NAMI, and you can see, I guess they're equal lows on the money flow, but your money flow is starting to curve to the upside as well. If we look at pulling a trend-based Fibonacci extinction here, you can see we're also hitting that zone between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236. So if this is going to be a 3-wave corrective move down, this is your zone. You would want to see something happen here. Near protocol, in my opinion, is looking pretty decent for a long here. But I have not taken it yet. I wanted to hit the naked daily point of control, which is going to be at 174.5, or even that naked daily at 169. I really like that 169 one as well. Did we hit the naked daily? We just barely front ran it. See, I have an alert set here, guys, on that naked daily point of control. Another thing you can see with this volume profile, you lost the volume profile, you bearishly backtested it. When you rejected here, you expected to take out that low, and we did. Let me go to the 15-minute chart, and let's see how this looks. Man, actually, guys, this is looking pretty nice here. If you see this, we have bull divs forming here, money flow curving to the upside. Look at the bull divs forming here. I mean, we did hit the golden pocket already. We're starting to get above the VWAP. All right, what I want to look at, because I might even look at taking a scalp trade here. I want to pull a channel of kind of this last little structure, just this last little bit of a structure here. And if we start to break out of this channel, I think you're going to see a big move. So what we could do is, if we bounce from VWAP, we could look for a long. You could put your stop, if you want it to be real safe, you would put it below the low. I would be targeting that high. Let's see if that's worth it. Yeah, it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward trade just to come up there right now. But if you wanted to even make this a better trade for yourself, you could put this below that low, or even this low here. But I would want to actually come down and hit that VWAP again. But it's looking like a pretty decent setup right now on near protocol from this general zone. Tap 1, tap 2, maybe come down to the golden pocket, so we can also pull a golden pocket here. Yeah, your golden pocket would be around your midline, 178 to 177-ish. The big thing here is market structure, right? Remember, market structure is king, guys. And to be really confident in this trade, you want to see a bullish break in market structure. So far, we haven't seen it. We see our high up here, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. So we could come down for a lower low. That would be actually even more preferred, to come down here, and then we see that big move up. And you're getting that selling exhaustion, right? That big aggressive move to the downside, and then you start seeing the choppy overlap, the selling exhaustion coming in with bull divs on multiple time frames. Okay. So you entered at 179. Awesome, man. Well, it looks like, yeah, it looks like you caught that low maybe right there. That's pretty good. Or you maybe caught it somewhere in here, but that's looking pretty good now. You need to break above the high, like 183.6, the highs from earlier today. You really need to start to break above that. Yeah, it's used up. Yeah, JR and PTRS, what's up, man? JR, PR, and TS. Good to see you as always, man. F it, I'll try anything 100 times. Okay, it's going to be a brutal bear market, but very profitable. Yeah, man, we really could see it, because the way the stock market is trading, and I know it's been super bullish, but generally when you see that crazy bullish market, I'm really concerned that we're going to see like a collapse in the economy. I mean, look at this, thing's already kind of breaking down. But look at this on this S&P 500. You break above the pitchfork band, you back test it in the dump a few weeks ago, you take out the highs, and now we're dumping. What we could be actually looking at here is some sort of flat, right? A, B flat, and then you come down, you take out those lows in a C, and then you continue pushing up. But I really do think we might be able to make it to the top of this pitchfork before seeing that crazy dump to the downside. Yeah, it's wild though. Long from this morning is printing hard. Y'all shorting this weekend. Let me see what Bitcoin's up to, guys. Let's check Bitcoin. Let's go on the 15-minute. All right, I'm still looking. Okay, so look at what happened, guys. We fell back inside the volume profile. We back tested the value area high, and we're rejecting. So I expect us to at least come down to the POC right now, 59,373. But if we can come down to that value area low where our golden pocket is, 57,115-ish, I'll be looking for a scalp long from there. But I want to see 5-minute bull divs. So as we're coming down on the 5-minute chart within this zone down, right, from the highs this morning, I want to see bull div as we're coming down there between all of these lows. And then I would potentially take a long from the value area low. So far, we're kind of setting up for that. Not confirmed yet, obviously. But the fact that we just fell back inside of our volume profile, back tested it, I would expect a new local low just now, at least coming down to the POC. What I don't like here is this whole range. I just don't like the way this looks, guys. Volume has been decreasing for the most part of it, and we're in that channel. You can see if I take it from this low to this low up to your very first high, we're rejecting the highs. We're bouncing from the lows. I mean, we're starting to lose the midline. You could see a move down to sweep all three of these lows together. But I would suspect that that's not going to happen over the weekend. If it does and we sweep into the naked monthly over the weekend, I'm not going to be happy about that because it means it's less likely to become a macro low. Baby Genius, much love to you, man. Rob QP, which pitchfork indicator do you use and what are your settings? So let me zoom out here. It's just the normal pitchfork, right? So I have it favorited, but it's a normal pitchfork. So when you pull it, you can go with, in settings, you can go with skiff, modified skiff, inside, original. Generally, what you're looking for is original pitchforks you use in wave 3s, right? So let me come down here. Let's say you have this bullish market structure, a wave 1, a wave 2 to golden pocket, then you get your big wave 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. What you can do with pitchforks is you can pull a pitchfork from the lows of wave 1 to the highs of wave 1 to the lows of wave 2, and generally your third wave will push up to that upper band or even the upper limit of a original pitchfork. Now, when you're looking at your fifth wave here, you know that it's starting to kind of curve over here, right? And you're not going to be pulling a pitchfork. So a really good example of this, actually, let me get rid of this. A really good example of this is on Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. I was looking at all of 2025, seeing a major rejection at around 108 and around 108 because we were looking at this being a 5-wave move, right? Wave 1, here's your flat and a wave 2. Here's your big wave 3. That was during the BlackRock listing. Here was your wave 4 and then your wave 5 here. Now I'm looking at this being some sort of flat correction in here where we could then continue up in a new bull market. That's your bear market flat correction. But if we're looking at, I pulled from the beginning of wave 3 to the end of wave 3 to the beginning of wave 4, right? This pitchfork here, I pulled the pitchfork there way before any of this was all developed, before any of that was developed. And you guys can go back on my channel and look at it because I extensively posted about it. I've had this pitchfork on my chart for, gosh, quite some time. Wave 3, this is your wave 1 pitchfork, okay? This is your wave 3 pitchfork, right? From the lows of 3 to the highs of 3 to the lows of 4. Look at where our all-time high was in our wave 5. Tap the pitchfork, right? But you can see I didn't use an original pitchfork here because we weren't looking for an aggressive move up. The aggressive move already happened in your wave 3. Wave 5 taps it, comes all the way back down to the lower band, breaks above it, and then we get another rejection, and then you break down through it, and then look at what happens here with this the bullish pitchfork. As soon as you break the bullish pitchfork to the downside, which happened in February, let me hide our bearish pitchfork, break it to the downside in February, that's that 3-wave corrective move to back test it at 98K. That's when we dumped hard. And this is exactly what could be about to happen to the multi-cycle pitchfork on Binance right now, guys. We are at the bottom of a multi-cycle pitchfork on Binance, holding on by a thread. If you start to close weekly candles below, sure, you might bounce from a local support, but then you expect a corrective move to backtest it. And if you fail on the bearish backtest, you're going to get the waterfall down. So on Binance right now, we're at the bottom of the pitchfork. If we start to break this sucker down, this multi-cycle pitchfork down, you can break it down. Sure, you might grab liquidity at 49K, then see a three-wave move to backtest it, and then you could get that huge waterfall down, right? I'm just worried about that because, well, we are seeing some nice bullish signs at this support level. But if we do start to lose it, I am going to get highly concerned for the Machi HK bear market to kick in. I still have hope, but I am playing it. I'm playing it as a trader, right? I trade the charts. If it breaks down, so be it. I will adjust my bias and I will be looking for the bearish backtest and I will be looking for the short on the bearish backtest to take to new lows. But settings, good question. So if you come in on the pitchfork, you go into settings. The 0.5 is the light green line, right? That is your equilibrium points between the midline and the bottom, the midline and the top. So the 0.5 I click on, and then the 618, which is that golden psychological ratio. And that gives you your bands. I kind of name these myself. This is your upper band, right? And this is your lower band in here. And oftentimes within and around these bands, you get ranges that chop and form in and around the bands. So those are the only levels I use. And then you just have to depend on what kind of structure you're looking at. You have to modify the pitchfork for what structure you're looking at. If it's a wave 3, you're going to want to put on that original. If it's a wave, 2 or whatever, a wave 5 or wave 2 retracement, wave 5, you're looking at using a skiff or a modified skiff. And I will say that Bitcoin likes modified skiff pitchforks. Bitcoin does tend to use modified skiff more than skiff. Okay, JTO either topped out. JTO, we'll look at JTO here. Wow. Well, that's pretty aggressive there. Let's see on the weekly. That's a 3-wave move down. That's a 3-wave move up. So from this area here, 1, 2, 3, let's pull that Fibonacci golden pocket from the highs of 3 to the lows of 3. I'm going to put that on log. Okay, it is on log scale. So yeah, you're coming up to that invalidation of a bigger dump to the downside, right? Like if you hit this, you're not looking for a new low anymore. Actually, you could even say on the weekly time frame, you broke market structure bullishly, right? By taking out this high, you've broken market structure bullishly on the weekly time frame. So because of that, and this here, I'll zoom in on this, but this, at least from now, looks like some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, right? If you're starting it with an impulse, then you're going to expect a 3-wave corrective move to golden pocket or somewhere, and then continuation up here. But this looks pretty good. You do have this weekly order block right here, right around your golden pocket. Let's throw on a weekly level right there. The top of the order block is a weekly level. And then let's throw on this upper range. You can see this is our upper range. I'm not pulling this original candle from the listing. So right afterwards, all the way to the breakdown. There is your volume profile. And I would actually even like to pull from the start. If we hit that other golden pocket, the wave 3 golden pocket, this one, it's going to invalidate an impulse to the downside, continuing, right? But we can pull it if this is a larger corrective move, and that is pretty far though. Let me see. That's probably going to be past your 1.618, for sure past your 1.618. Oof. Yeah, right around your 2 Fibonacci extinction, which makes it less likely to be a correction. It makes it less likely for this to be a ABC here. That's a bit tough. Let's go into the daily time frame real quick. Well, you can see this big dump we had in October, and it looks like we're forming some sort of maybe like cup and handle formation in here. I would pull a volume profile from right after the dump and look at this. You're breaking out of the value area high there. So that's a good sign. And man, I would just, yeah, we would be looking for the breakdown. So right, this high right before we lost the range to the low. That's that, yep. Okay, if we're going to count this, this is really hard to look at, but like a 1, maybe this is a running flat and a 2. This is your 3, this is your 4, and we're in some sort of contracting diagonal for the 5th wave, which is a motive wave in itself, right? Contracting diagonal up to that golden pocket. I would definitely be watching that golden pocket, and that is going to be around 96 to 104, or like 97 to 104, 105, let's say. You have a naked monthly point of control right on top of that weekly. That's a very big level there. Let me just make sure that's on properly. Yeah, 114 to 115 is a pretty big zone there with that naked monthly. And look at the bear divs you're starting to develop on the daily. Higher highs in here, lower highs are starting to come in. Money flow is curving down. So I would say it's getting close to an end. Oftentimes with the golden pockets, let's put it on the non-log golden pocket and let's see if that shifts it up just a little bit. Quite a bit, actually. And I guess we could look at our bearish pitchfork structure. So we would go from, let me just. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, this zone in here is really the big zone of resistance coming up. You can see you tried to hold on to the pitchfork, you lost it. Now you're coming up for the bearish back test. Let me see if the skiff fits a little bit better. It does. Look at, it's more well respected in the past. And the way to look at pitchforks to choose which one to use, whichever one has been respected more in the past is the one you're going to want to use. So coming up for the bearish backtest of this bearish pitchfork that you broke down from aggressively, right up into this zone. And I know it's a big zone between 115 and like 97. I would personally trade it in 2 different zones, actually. I would trade it from the golden pocket to the bottom of the pitchfork. And then if you break above that, I would be looking at this very small zone, because oftentimes you will see wicks above golden pockets. And I bet you that's going to be like the 702. Hold on, let's do this. And we'll make that on log scale. No. But you are coming up to some resistance there. You could even pull your bullish pitchfork. This, if this is a 1, 2, and all of this is a 3 here, you can pull the pitchfork from the bottom to the highs of 1 to the lows of 2, and you would want to put that on the original, right? Because we're looking at that big wave 3. Okay, it's not that aggressive, so we go, then you go to the next one, which is modified. And yeah, look at, you're breaking out of that. you're back testing it, and you're continuing up. So it's, to me, it's a very high likelihood that you are going to continue up to that golden pocket. You do have some order blocks in here you need to pay attention to. This 3-day order block's right at the golden pocket. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, and you have that daily level right at the order block, and it would fill this imbalance as well, this fair value gap. I want to set an alert on this thing because if we're seeing some bear divs, short. And then I will also set an alert on that naked monthly. But I wouldn't say it's topped out yet. I wouldn't say that. 1, 2, 3. This is just a nightmare. And look at it's relatively low liquidity. That's why you have all these giant wicks to the top and bottom here. I would not even be looking to trade this until it gets up to this zone. But you are starting to see those massive bear divs come in. Money flow bear divs come in. So looking pretty nice for a potential short. All right. Stock market crash, your loss is my gain. Yeah, I mean, right? If the stock market crashes, I'll be buying some up. Dram USDT. Yeah, Serpent God, welcome in. We can look at Dram. Let's see. USDT. Let's see. I'll go with Bybit. All right, that's relatively new coin. What I would say from this low at $52-ish is it does look like we're in some sort of impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, or maybe this whole thing is a flat for a 4, and then you're going to get that 5. So I'd be paying attention to kind of this upper range in here. Value area low, you're at value area low. Also, let's make sure that's not on log scale. Okay. And I believe you hit the 0.9. So if you pull a fib from the highs of A to the lows of A and you hit the 0.9 fib, then that qualifies for a short. So you can see we rejected from the 886, but that wick wicked up to the 0.9. So yeah, you could, now we have to keep this as a possibility. And remember, in flat ranges, you often reject from 886s. So we would have to say this is maybe a flat. And the object of that flat is to take out your lows at $67, $67.21-ish. If it's going to be a running flat, then you would want to see a bounce from, you know, this general level we're at right now and then go up. What do we see on... man, this was pretty bad. Look at, as you're coming up here to round off, bear divs, money flow leaving aggressively. Bear divs, money flow now crossing into the red here. Yeah, let's pull from the lows of 3 to the highs of 3. Let's look at our golden pocket. Okay, you do not want to hit 65. And let me just do this real quick. Yeah, that's only a 50% move. So you don't want to hit this. If you want this to continue as an impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even a 1, 2, 3, and this all's a flat for a 4, then a 5, you do not want to hit $65. Yeah, and look at you bounce from your wave 4 target being that 0.5 Fibonacci. In this move to the downside right here, you can see that that does kind of look like a 3-wave corrective move. So let's say that that low at 67 is the low. And this definitely looks impulsive here right as well. In a bullish scenario, this was the wave 4 that's done. And then you're looking at a 1, 2, and then you want to see that 3, 4, 5 come in. So you want to generally hold the area of support that we are at right now. Golden pocket 786. It's also your value area low. The money flow doesn't look the best here. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, I would like to at least take out the low at 71,025. What we can do is pull this channel. Yeah, maybe even coming down, taking out these semi-equal double lows into your 786 at $70. Not monthly. Okay, there's nothing down there. So we can set an alert on that low at 71,025. If you SFP these double lows together into that 786 and then reclaim it, you could be looking at a potential long up to take out the highs at 81. That's your bullish scenario, that this wave 4 is already played out and that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other scenario is that you're going to take out that low because it's a flat in a wave 4. So for me, the only two areas I would be interested in taking trades on this thing is if you SFP this low or if you SFP this low. And I would want to see, as well, first off, this looks like a 3-wave move here. Then you come down, take that out. I would want to see some bull divs on the chart. Money flow looks pretty bearish here. And then you did print a hidden bear div, which is a continuation pattern on that high. So you actually do expect to take out those lows because of that hidden bear div being printed. And other than that, there's not too much we could look at. This is a relatively new coin here. Let me just do, I don't like doing this from the listing, the beginning of the listing, but I'm going to have to. And then we look at, yeah, oh man. Okay. Yeah, just be careful. And you could look at if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your 5, you might be coming up to 87, but watch for also a potential rejection at 87 to 87.26. Okay, where was that? Thanks, bud. What about locally on JTO? I've taken too much profit, I think, from it intraday, but not sure if it'll hit that golden pocket. Okay, intraday on JTO. Was I using Coinbase? This is another chart I was using. Well, you're so close. Let's see. Did you just SFP that high? You just SFP'd the high now. So, well, not confirmed yet. Actually, it is confirmed. A 15-minute SFP there, or like an hourly SFP. So I would be very careful. If you haven't taken some profit, you could see a dump here. We do have some bear divs on the chart locally and more regionally here. Yeah. I would be watching for that SFP. From the lows on the hourly chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pullback, or this is the pullback, running flat. This is your wave 3. So maybe this is going to SFP and then pull back for a wave 4 before seeing that last move up to the daily golden pocket. So let's go from the lows to the highs. Wave 4 targets. Yeah, and look at where your VWAP is going to be coming right into that 382. So watch for a pullback to around 79 cents. We can also pull this range. Yeah, this is your zone, local support zone. If you're SFPing right now, which it does kind of look like you're seeing an SFP here, this is your local support zone for a bounce to come up to the golden pocket. Something like that. But if you've been long in this today, that's pretty awesome on you, you know? You're breaking out of the value area high, so after grabbing some liquidity, you come back to bullishly backtest value area high. If it holds, you would expect new highs. Yeah, let me just check something here. Dang, we missed it. If you would have taken the SFP short there, that would have been a great trade. Well, DRAM is the memory ETF. DRAM. Oh, yeah, the memory ETF. Okay. Stock. But I'm pretty sure you said USDT, DRAM USDT. Bonk. We can also look at Bonk in just a second here. Yeah, this is starting. Look at, you got your big push up and now you're starting to see some choppy overlap. You're rejecting your midline right now, starting to drop. So you might come down and sweep that low at 67. Actually, I think that's the same chart, just tokenized version. Okay, cool. Thank you much, HK. Let me check Bitcoin real quick. Are we coming down? Bitcoin's just being slow. I'm going to set an alert around that value area low. Yeah, clip the picture. Thank you, CD, for saying clip the pitchfork explanation and post it. Yeah, I definitely should. Yeah, that's cool that a lot of stocks are becoming tokenized now, so you can trade them. That's freaking awesome. You took it 5 minutes ago, baby genius. That SFP short. Nice, dude. Yeah, that is awesome. So you took a good long today, and then you just took that SFP short, dude. That's awesome. Good money right there. You don't near locally flipping the five. You don't near is locally flipping the 5-minute bullish inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, near is at that nice support level right now, and it's looking bullish, like 8-hour and under bullish divergences. But I would honestly, I would really just like to come to hit that pitchfork at least, around 174 ish. And that naked daily was just below us at 174.5. We just barely front ran it. But I wouldn't say, okay, you're talking about real low time frame. Let's see. Flipping the 5-minute bullish. Yeah, I mean, you did break above this high on the 5-minute. But even still, this is your key high to get above 186.4. You really want to break that. And then you could say, hey, now I'm looking for a retracement, right? If this breaks that high and then you could see a retracement, that is your long. And that you would also just pull your volume profile of this little 5-minute range. And yeah, like, see, that would be break that high. That's also around your value area high. Come back to POC, look for a long around there. You do have some pretty bad 5-minute bear divs in this. Look at all of these highs, all of these lows. Yeah, you do have some bear divs in here. And I like these internal lows right at the value area low. $15-minute has some bear divs as well, confirmed between these highs. So yeah, I personally would like to see it make another low. If you want to start to try to get in on this, I mean, you are at your POC. And if you rotate down to value area low, you could look for a long around value area low, 178.5-ish. So personally, for me, I would want to wait a little bit. One, two, three, four lows. You have the higher lows here, money flow overall curving up. Even coming back to here, you have bull divs on the 1 hour. Even back to this guy, you're starting to see some bull divs. So you're definitely forming a bottoming formation here and looking for that bigger move to 196.5. But the thing is, in just this little chop in here, you want to see a bullish market structure break and then a retracement. That will give you a more confident long position. Until you see that, you're playing with fire a little bit. All right, let me scroll down to the bottom. Oh, okay. It is common to range rather than reject and directly dump. GTO. JTO, I mean. Man, that was, yeah. But that's looks like it's going to be a good short. I would be watching right around that 382 value area high. And you want to see this kind of have that 3-wave corrective move down. And because we're going into the weekend, just like this range in here, it could last a bit. Right? So it might be something not a direct zigzag like this. It might be a bit more of a 3-wave move, 3-wave move, 3-wave move, something like that. Or even a triangle. Yeah, absolutely, baby genius. Another one that I was looking at was Hype, guys. Hype was starting to break out of that ascending channel or descending channel. Look at, so Hype, we've been in this descending channel here. Let me go to the 1 hour. We've been in this descending channel. We talked about this yesterday. We were bouncing from the support box, right? Naked weekly, a weekly level, a naked daily point of control, range point of control. Bounce. We broke market structure bullishly by taking out all these lower highs in here. Or even if you're looking at the low, we broke market structure bullishly by taking out 64.5. We're trying to break out of this channel. If we're back testing it right now and we're holding this, then I expect to move up to that 69.5, where you have the second pivot of the channel, you have the golden pocket, you have a value area high up here, and a golden pocket too. So I think it could make it up there easily, actually. And because this looks overall corrective here, you might even come up and take out the highs of the channel. But if you're longing, I would just at least be looking at this as a TP zone and a possible rejection for short. Because overall, I'm still looking at this being a bigger flat. And we did front run that golden pocket just so slightly. 52.58, 52.46. But you can see on hype, you fell back in your volume profile, you bearishly back tested the value area high, you dropped to the POC. So far, POC's holding. We're getting some chop and a range starting to form here. So you could move up to lower high golden pocket before moving down. I actually want to look at this because if we start to bounce from VWAP, I might even look at taking a long on this thing to bring up to 69.5. Yeah, man. Okay. I don't like how we're starting to fall back inside the volume profile. It is a 5-minute range, so we can't get, too excited about that. But you bounced from value area low, you broke out. You really do want to hold the back test of this channel. If we can hold the back test here, and yes, when I say hold the back test, you might see a like a 5-10 minute wick inside to hit VWAP, but overall you want to kind of hold the zone. So let's do this actually. If we're hitting the channel, we're going to put our stop below the VWAP and we're targeting that 618. That's a very nice trade right there. What would be in order to be more confident on this trade, you would want it to bounce from VWAP and then start to reclaim the channel and back test it. And that is when you long right here. Your stop goes below that low. Your first TP, to be honest, would be just taking out all of those semi-equal highs. I would probably take 25% off the table when I took out these semi-equal highs, 1, 2, 3 at 65.44. And then probably only 25% though. Then you would move your stop loss to break even, let the rest run. You were having some 5-minute bear divs in here, crossing into the red on the 5-minute. But also, if we take out this low, you could have 5-minute bull divs forming. Looks like Nami's already confirming them. Well, let's check the 15-minute. Ah, man. Yeah, see all those multiple drives of bear div there? I don't like that. Here, though, something to consider is you have 3 semi-equal highs. I mean, liquidity like crazy. The market makers are probably not going to leave that sitting there. Super low leverage on spot position for near, but 100% agree. Yeah, for near, 138 is where I'm really looking. That's that larger golden pocket. If we get down there, I'm looking for swing longs down there. But this is a decent overall support level at, 164 or 176 to 169-ish. Darksby, you said, I think or Black Swan event, the bear market might be this Sailor situation. I think that the Wall Street boys are trying to force him to sell. Yeah, I would, if we're going to have a crazy bear market, it's probably going to be because of Michael Saylor. I agree. Oh, that's right. July 1st, the exchanges will not be licensed to trade in the EU. And that could be a big liquidity hit to the market, guys. I know the EU's not one of the biggest markets, but it's still a decent sized market that could take a big hit. Man, all of you guys that are living in the EU, what are you going to do about that? Like that's wild. And if Bitcoin, guys, continues to drop here a little bit lower, then we might see hype and near drop to those local lows, a little bit lower to those local lows where we can take some scalp positions on as well. Yeah, and Solana around 77. I would really like to see Solana around 77 for a potential short. I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. I have alerts set there. So if it doesn't happen while I'm sleeping, I'll let you guys know if I take that short position or not. Oh, man, that's not good. Kraken or OKX. Okay, Bybit. Yep. Oh, guys, we are seeing some bearish CVD divergences. So from this high, lower highs in the price action, we are seeing higher highs in the CVD here. Now it's on a pretty much flat open interest, so it's not bearish absorption, but that bearish CVD could bring us down to value area low. Yeah, it is definitely seeing some bearish CVD here. I want to go to our model 2 and let's look at the low time frame. All right. Well, it looks like we have liquidity above the highs. Coming up to 62. Okay. Above these highs, we have some liquidity. But if you guys remember yesterday's live stream, this being a 3-wave corrective move, we were expecting to take out that low. We did. And so far, I just don't like the way this looks for a, like, what are we going to say? A 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to explode into 3 and then get some 4, 5s. That would be the bullish scenario, but the way this is chopping like this and you're forming bear divs, it doesn't seem probable to me. Yeah, guys, if you are in the EU, I would consider taking my money out before July 1st just to see, and then you don't want to be that crowd that left it in there and then all of it's frozen and you can't even take it out. Maybe just put it into your cold wallet until the situation gets worked out, or switch it to somewhere, a different exchange that, I don't know. Yeah. That sucks. I hope the United States doesn't end up doing that. Digital euro, gosh. Yeah, the EU has been crazy. Decrypto, good afternoon, my man. What was I just going to check? Hype. I just want to monitor this because we might be able to get that little bit of a long position. Let's see. This is going to be at like 63.28, 63.3, let's say. Let's see if we can't get the little SFP of this micro low into VWAP and then get a move up. I mean, like, look at, even on the 5-minute chart, you can see how this is so well respected. You fall through value area low, you bearishly backtest it, you expect to take out the local low. We did. Okay, you can cash out over an EU exchange, but trading on other platform. Well, that's kind of good. Guys, that total market cap, remember I said a couple weeks ago we could drop to this lower band around 1.9 trillion. But we have our range of the past 4 months. We saw a 3-wave corrective move here. Pretty much back testing it. You didn't quite make it all the way up to the value area low, but now we're dumping. And this 1, 2, this might continue in a 3, and then you see a 4 and a 5, or this might continue like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And overall, we'd be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this being the 5th wave within the 5th, 5-wave impulse within the 5th wave. If that happens, though, if we do drop all the way down here, Bitcoin is going to lose that support level. Man, it's so nice though what we're seeing right now. Guys, I am looking for those swing longs because we could be confirming over the weekend if we continue to chop down here and then, hit that naked monthly. It could have some very nice bull dibs on the chart. Good night, Patrick. Yeah, guys, I am going to get going soon too. Let me know, is there anything else you guys want me to look at before I leave for the weekend? Remember, if you do want to get my views on the market over the weekend, or if any of those alerts go off and I decide to take a trade on it, I will let you guys know in the Telegram. All you have to do to join the Telegram is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description below. Deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you've done that, click the Telegram link in the description and type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And I will let you guys know, in the Telegram. So I guess for now, yeah, for Bitcoin on the low time frames, I'm looking for, let's go to the 12-minute chart. I'm looking for the potential of a scalp long opportunity on the value area low, which is also our golden pocket. So if we pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from the lows to the highs of your most recent move. You can see at 59,138-ish to 59,200. I'm looking for a potential long opportunity from here. But like I said, I'm not taking it unless we have bull divs on the moves down here. So far, we are starting to build some, right? On hype, I'm looking at, we are coming down to backtest the pitchfork or the back of the channel, the bullish backtest of the channel. But I would like to grab this low. Okay, we're doing that right now. Let's see if we get the SFP here into the VWAP. I'll stay with you guys for a bit longer because we might get this to play out live here. If we bounce from VWAP and then reclaim the channel, I will look for a long to bring up, at least to take out our highs at 65.44. But I'll leave some open to 69.5. It's a very shallow SFP. I don't like the way that shallowness is right now. It's more of a double bottom than an SFP. Ooh, okay, but there you go, right? Yeah, absolutely, baby genius. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man, and thank you. I want to wait a little bit here because if Bitcoin's going to dump a little bit lower, then we'll probably see hype dump a little bit lower as well. And then also near protocol. Yeah, we're getting that dump underneath the POC. We haven't hit the golden pocket yet or the value area low yet. And overall, guys, on near protocol, I would like to take out the low at 175 and come down to around 174.5 at 1745. We have a naked daily just below us. And even better would be to come down to about 170-ish. I think it was 171. Yeah, 171. But near's chopping within this little 5-minute channel in here. We might see a bounce from this golden pocket. Yeah, because your golden pocket's going to be at your value area low as well. So 170. And overall, guys, remember, near seeing 8-hour and under bull divs. So if you didn't get in at 176, if you don't want to miss this, you could look for a long position from the value area low, golden pocket. Stop would go below that low, or I would probably put my stop even below the naked daily. And then we would be looking for a bigger breakup to backtest 196.5. That is still a decent scalp trade right there. And then say you get stopped out on this one, you could re-enter again. Obviously, you'd lose 1% on that trade, right? But say it does something like this and then continues down and you get the SFP of this low into like the bottom of the channel or even into the golden pocket, you could retry again. And if that trade plays out, let's say this one fails, you enter again on the SFP, maybe bouncing from the naked daily, and you bring it up to that same level, you'd put your stop, you know, probably something like that. You would still get a second try at that, right? So 2 possible trades that I'm looking at there. Oh, and Mark, I was looking at Ordi earlier. It, man, on Ordi, we literally saw that big pump right up to the 0.5. And remember, we were looking at this WXY right up to that 0.5. Now, we are chopping this in here, this channel. It kind of does look corrective, but I was also looking at the potential of a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe coming down to golden pocket, and then seeing a move up, this being your A wave, this being a B, and then another, you know, big move down to take out the lows. Or, you know, you'd be looking, not an ABC, a wave 1 here in a contracting diagonal, a wave 2, a 3, 4, 5, something like that. But this whole entire move up, we were looking for the rejection exactly from that level. Actually, I literally shorted that exact level earlier in the month, like 2 months ago, I think, a month ago. But the golden pocket being at the bottom of the channel is a nice little, at least like day trade, scalp trade long position. Looks like we're trying to flip a naked weekly into resistance and continue down to like 27.5. You've also lost your value area low here. Shorts on Aave. Oh, we checked Aave yesterday. Oh man, we hit the golden pocket. We talked about this yesterday. Dang it. I thought we set an alert here. We talked about that golden pocket at the value area high. But remember, yesterday we were way down here, I think. We were looking at this being a 5-wave impulse. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 5 all the way up to golden pocket. 100 would be a little bit better to hit. Maybe we can chop in here and start to see that exhaustion coming into $100. But yeah, that does look pretty nice there for a potential short. And then we would pull this golden pocket now up to the highs. Yeah, actually, and think in terms of the channel too. You had this channel, you broke down from it, you broke back inside of it, flipped it to support, worked your way up to the top. Let's say we reject from the top, then you see a 3-wave move down to the bottom, right, to golden pocket to the bottom, grabbing some liquidity from a lower degree wave 4. So $100 down to $70 might be a good short. Now, if you're not in the short already, oh man, yeah, you had some bear divs. Let's see, 30-minute. No, actually, you don't have much bear divs here. We might get a move down to VWAP and then get a move up to 100. But even within this 5th wave, what is this? A 1, 2, 1, 2. You got your big 3, 4, 5. Now, I would say all of this is some sort of flat in here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you do need to get one more move up. So watch for that VWAP, a bounce from VWAP to come up to 100. Okay, now hype is coming down to that VWAP. We're bouncing, we're hitting the VWAP here. If we start to lose the VWAP, there's no trade. And if we bounce and get back above, you can, hold on, let me do this. So let's just say our portfolio is $1,000 portfolio and we're risking 1% on this trade. So you're going to have to calculate what 1% risk of your portfolio is, but you're taking, in this case, 1% of 1,000 is $10. So you're taking a $10, that's your stop loss. If you get stopped out, you'll lose $10. We're going to divide that by 0.00738. 0.00738. You can put $1,355 on this long trade. And if you get stopped out, you'll only lose $10. And remember, that's based off of this number here. Because this is a percentage, you have to move the decimal over 2 spots. I mean, these are begging to be taken. These 4 highs pretty much are begging to be taken. You don't have the bull divs you want to see here. You wanted to see 5-minute bull divs. So that, as far as confirmation there, we don't have it. But you do have 12-minute bull divs. Potentially, money flow looks bad. In the way that Bitcoin looks, yeah, I'm concerned about Bitcoin continuing to drop. And if Bitcoin continues to drop, that hype long's probably not going to play out. The near long, we're almost down to that golden pocket. 177.5-ish, 177.7. So I'll set an alert on this low, 177.6. If we get that, we can look for a scalp from that. Remember, if we don't SFP that, the next trade I'm looking for is an SFP of the low. And then Aave. Oops. Man, that was if you took a short from the golden pocket, good job. You still don't have any major bull divs there, or bear divs, excuse me. You do on the 8-hour, potentially between this high and that high. Ooh, you might even have daily bear divs coming up into that golden pocket there. Shorting the weekend. Man, I hope that we don't get new lows on Bitcoin over the weekend. I really hope so. So we have the Solana trade. We have a potential hype trade. We have a potential near trade. Aave, if it gets to 100, I'll be looking. And Bitcoin. So we have some trades to be looking at over the weekend, guys. I'm going to set an alert here at on this guy, on Aave. And I will let you guys know in the Telegram if I do decide to take any of these trades. Yeah, it doesn't look good here, guys. For the hype long right now, it's not looking good because look at, we came up and we back tested that prior low and we're rejecting. We just made a brand new low after rejecting that. And if we start to lose VWAP, there's nothing in here that's going to keep us from just nuking down to POC. VWAP has to hold here. Yeah, that BGS 19, BGSP 19 at 100, man, that looks like it could be a really good short. 1/4 position in on near. Okay. The one thing that is a little bit concerning, guys, is if Bitcoin does this, we're not going to see those hype, and near might not play out either. All right, good. Let's see. Let's just get down there. Come on, take that guy out. And unfortunately, Solana might dump before we get up to that 77. I mean, we now that we're so far above VWAP, we were so far above, you might just see something like that, and then it continues over the weekend up to 77. What was that? Yeah, you're 886. You are just seeing a little bit of a reaction from the 886 right now. Man, guys, these 886s and sideways ranges generally give you a good scalp, at least on the first hit. And I would say this part is at least somewhat of a sideways range in here. And you do have bear divs confirmed, which means we might be coming down to VWAP. Guys, please do hit the like button on your way out. I hope you guys all have a good weekend. If you are going to continue to trade, like the ones that we just talked about, be careful with hype because hype isn't looking the best right now. It is so far still holding. For me, I'm not going to take this hype long position unless we reclaim the channel. Not these lows, but the channel. And if we can't reclaim it, then there's no long position. It's just not looking the best right now. And we did not have the confirmations either. And remember, that's why we wait for confirmations. Because if there's no confirmations, it's less likely to play out. Now, you could also look for, if you get a little move up and then you back test, you could look for the long on the back test. Stop would go, once again, still below the lows. But yeah, thank you guys. I'm going to get going. I appreciate you all so much. Please do hit the like button. Stay tuned in the Telegram this weekend if I do anything, take any trades, or I'll just let you guys know what's happening over the weekend. But appreciate you.